Welcome back, wonderful people. We are discussing core values, bridging Jyotish or Vedic Astrology with modern psychology. Now, what's the object of this whole exercise and study? Core values determines what you are really working for in this lifetime. What is your soul desiring in this lifetime to accomplish with everything that's going on in your life? What are you here to do? And we come to this last part called creation. External creation versus internal creation. Now, this is the only planet I see between Natal and Navamsha which is the same. Venus is your external creation, as in whatever you create in terms of aesthetics, in terms of beauty, in terms of wealth, in terms of spouse, in terms of relationships, in terms of partnerships. Everything that you do in the human world, in this physical world, external creation, it really is your Venus. Okay? So pay very close attention to this podcast. You're trying to create something through your soul in an embodied physical form. All physical reality is really Venus, if you look at it that way. However, internal creation also becomes Venus, but in a different fashion. In Navamsha, your Venus determines what's your internal value system. Your Taurus, your Libra, the lords of whom are Venus, determine really your personal value system. That's why Taurus comes second. Your family values. What do you value? Which family, race, culture, religion are you born into? That determines your value system, isn't it? Your personal value system, I mean, which is provided by society, provided by institutions, provided by your own immediate family, father, mother, and so on, since you're born. So Venus is really an internal creation in the Navamsha as well. So pay very close attention to the transformation of Venus, nakshatra sign and so on, between natal going into Navamsha. In Navamsha, where does Venus go into? Which sign, which zodiac, what nakshatra, and so on. You can go on further analysis of that. But I made an Excel worksheet for this. I will leave the direct link to my Google Drive Excel worksheet in the description box. Take your time to go through it. What follows next is the explanation of the Excel sheet. First, you need to understand how I have created this. What are the basic parameters of usage? You can use this for yourself. You can circulate it among your friends, family. It should be a very interesting exercise, what your core values are. Now, the core values Excel worksheet is basically made in the form and format of modern psychology. And the bridge between the Jyotish and this psychology is made in the pie charts within the Excel sheet. I've explained everything. Let's listen in. So on your screen right now, you can see the Excel worksheet. I shall leave a link directly on my Google Drive to this. You can download this and work it yourself. This can also be a self-help. This can also be an investigation if you're a mainstream counselor, psychologist, etc. So this Excel worksheet basically is taken off a good source, reliable source on the internet. These column, the central column you see over here, core values, are a set of 100 value systems if you scroll through, which will give you what it is you're looking for, what resounds with you the most. Okay? So there are totally 100 of them, right from A to Z in alphabetical order, which says, what is it we are trying to measure? We are trying to measure 100 parameters. So kind of go slow on this. I urge you not to rush through this whole thing. It's quite deep and it's quite revealing, you might say. Okay? So first is the core values which are listed over here. There are totally 100 core values we work for as humans. And the category of external, internal, you don't have to bother with these columns. Okay? This is all merged and matched and all that. See, external plus status gives external status and so on. So this is the way it is mapped. External and internal status, responsibility, action, cause, creation. And all you have to do is focus when you download this Excel sheet on this answers column. You have to rate each one on a scale of 1 to 10. I've just done a sample here. Be very careful how you rate yourself. Don't give full marks to everything. No, this is not a competition. Okay? This is for you to understand your core values. What makes sense to you, and it's a scale. It's not a black and white. It is not a yes and no answer. So 1 to 10 we have evaluated. Colors will change by themselves. Ignore all those other things. You have to focus only on giving yourself scale of 1 to 10 against each one of these core values where you stand. Suppose I say accountability matters to me a lot. That is 10 marks. Give yourself 0 generally wherever you find a no value attachment. That's the important thing. The instructions for use are here, which says give yourself 0 generously. If these values you do not normally consider for yourself, try and avoid scaling every value evenly. Okay? Because we want to get to the core. And all these things are calculated. These values and focus areas, everything is calculated. There are pie charts and so on. Okay. So in terms of planets, in terms of Jyotish, what does this mean? Your external world, external status is dominantly Sun in your natal chart. This pie chart is fully for your natal chart. External status being Sun, external responsibility being Saturn, external action being Mars, external cause being Rahu or the north node of the moon, external creation being Venus. And what are the descriptions here? See the listed ones. External status is that which the self gets from the outside world. Your status in the world. That's the Sun in your natal. External responsibility. That which the self holds responsible to in the external world. That's Saturn. External action. That which the self takes action in the outside world. That's your Mars. External cause, that which is caused by external world to drive the self, that is your Rahu. Invariably I have seen in every chart. Your external creation, that which is created by the self in the external world, is Venus. Now Venus is the only thing common between external and internal creations. You create essentially Venus on this earth plane. So the internal status, that which the self gets from within, is Moon in your Navamsha. Internal parts, all of these planets shown, is only your Navamsha, by the way. Internal responsibility is your Jupiter, whatever you hold accountable. That which the self holds responsible to itself. It's a very highly internalized planet, Jupiter. Doesn't show in the external world. External world only sees your face. Internal world is your Jupiter. Internal action is shown by Mercury, or intellect, which is hidden. Jupiter, Mercury, quite hidden. That by virtue of which the self takes action in the outside world, caused from within. Ketu, once again, is a very internal point. Internal cause is Ketu. See where Ketu is placed in your Navamsha. That is what is driving yourself in the external world, which will become dominant after you cross the age of 30. Internal creation, that which is created as value. Remember, second house Venus, I have spoken of Venus as your value system. Okay? So keep this background in mind. I shall keep these 2 introductory slides in every podcast. And the rest of it is a voiceover. Have patience, listen, understand, leave your comments if you find something else, if you're mainstream. If this appears on the LinkedIn newsletter and if it is cut short because the platform only allows me 15 minutes, okay, I can't pack the whole thing in 15 minutes. I won't be doing any justice to it. Entire video is on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. Even the people listening on Apple and Spotify and other podcast channels. Listen in now.
Core values, external creation versus internal creation, from Natal to Navamsha. Let's talk about creation, because creation is not just about art, relationships, or wealth. Creation is about what you bring into existence, and even more importantly, why you bring it into existence. Every human being is creating something all the time, a life, a lifestyle, relationships, patterns, values, environments. The real question is whether what you are creating outside reflects what you value inside. This is where external creation natal and internal creation Navamsha quietly part ways and eventually demand reconciliation. External creation, what you build, attract, and display. External creation is the visible output of your values. In the natal chart, creation shows up as what you attract toward yourself, what you invest time, money, and energy into, how you shape relationships, comforts, and aesthetics, what you take pride in owning, building, or being associated with. External creation answers questions like, what does a good life look like? What feels pleasurable, successful, or beautiful? What kind of relationships or environments validate me? This is where people build careers that look impressive, relationships that appear stable or desirable, lifestyles that signal taste, status, or success. And for a while, this feels fulfilling because the world mirrors your efforts back to you. Internal creation, what you value enough to live with. Internal creation is far subtler and far more demanding. Navamsha reveals what truly nourishes your sense of self-worth, what kind of love you can sustain emotionally, what environments help you feel whole rather than distracted, what kind of beauty feels authentic rather than performative. Internal creation asks, does this feel like me? Can I inhabit this life without pretending? Does this creation nourish me when nobody applauds it? This is why internal creation matures later. It requires experience, disillusionment, and honesty. When what you create outside no longer feeds you inside, this misalignment is deeply unsettling. Externally, you may have created security, comfort, recognition, relationships that look right. Internally, however, something feels missing. You may start thinking, I built what I was supposed to, so why do I feel empty? I got what I wanted. Why doesn't it satisfy me anymore? I should be grateful, so why do I want something different? This is not ingratitude. This is internal creation asserting itself. So how sign shifts change the meaning of creation. A sign shift between natal and Navamsha transforms what creation means. Imagine external creation expressed through a sign that values beauty, harmony, social approval, shared enjoyment. Externally, life becomes about connection, attraction, and refinement. Now, imagine that same creative energy shifting internally to a sign that values depth, honesty, emotional truth, personal transformation. Suddenly, surface-level beauty loses appeal. Creation now requires authenticity, emotional resonance, integrity. So relationships, work, and lifestyle choices start changing, not because something is wrong, but because your internal value system has evolved. House shifts, when creation becomes intimate. House shifts explain why people simplify their lives. A planet that creates externally may sit in a public or social house in Natal and shift to a private, relational, or psychological house in Navamsha. Externally, creation is about visibility and participation. Internally, creation becomes about meaning and intimacy. This is when people reduce social noise, prioritize fewer but deeper relationships, redesign their environment for peace, not impression. Let go of excess without feeling loss. It may look like retreat. In truth, it is refinement. The emotional cost of misaligned creation. Creating from the wrong value system is exhausting. You may feel emotionally overextended, dependent on validation, disconnected from your own desires, trapped in creations that require constant maintenance. When internal creation is ignored, even pleasure becomes labor. Navamsha does not reject enjoyment. It rejects hollow enjoyment. The maturity of aligned creation. Aligned creation feels different. It is quieter, simpler, more intentional, deeply satisfying without display. You stop creating to be admired. You start creating to be inhabited. Your relationships feel mutual, not performative. Your environment feels restorative, not impressive. Your pleasures feel nourishing, not distracting. Externally, life may look less extravagant. Internally, it feels far more complete. The deeper teaching Navamsha brings, Navamsha teaches that creation is an extension of self-worth. What you tolerate, what you invest in, what you maintain, all reveal what you value. External creation shows what you can build. Internal creation shows what you can live inside. When these two align, you no longer chase beauty, love, or comfort. You become the source of what you create. Thoughts to sit with. As you reflect quietly, let these questions stay with you. What have I created because it looked right? And what because it felt right? Which relationships and environments nourish me, and which merely distract me? If nobody saw my life, what would I still choose to build? What would change if I allowed my values, not expectations, to shape my creations? These are not questions about aesthetics or success. They are questions about how honestly you are living with what you have created.
Venus as external creation, Venus as internal creation. Examples: Creation is not just what you produce. Creation is what you attract, sustain, value, and repeatedly recreate in your life. Venus is unique in this framework because Venus in natal, D1, shows external creation, relationships, wealth patterns, aesthetics, comforts, pleasures, social bonds, and what you visibly build and attract in the world. Venus in Navamsha, D9, shows internal creation, your inner value system, self-worth template, emotional taste, relational maturity, and what you can genuinely live with over time. This is why people often say, I keep attracting the same kind of relationship, money pattern, lifestyle, even when I don't want to. That repetition is Venus working simultaneously outside and inside. Let's look at how this actually plays out. Example 1. Venus in Libra, 7th house natal. Venus in Virgo, 6th house Navamsha. Externally, relationships, partnerships, beauty, and harmony define creation. Life looks balanced, elegant, and socially refined. Internally, value is built through correction, usefulness, and improvement. Over time, perfectionism enters relationships and dissatisfaction grows. Core tension, harmony versus correctness. Maturity lesson, love cannot survive constant fixing. Example 2, Venus in Taurus, 2nd house, Venus in Aquarius, 11th house. Externally, creation revolves around wealth, comfort, food, possessions, and stability. Security feels like love. Internally, value shifts toward freedom, innovation, friendships, and contribution to a larger cause. Possession begins to feel restrictive. Core tension, ownership versus freedom. Maturity lesson, value evolves from holding to sharing. Example 3. Venus in Leo, 5th house, Venus in Capricorn, 10th house. Externally, creation is dramatic, romantic, expressive, and attention-oriented. Love and creativity seek admiration. Internally, value matures into responsibility, longevity, and respect. Romance without structure feels unreliable. Core tension, passion versus permanence. Maturity lesson, what lasts matters more than what dazzles. Example 4, Venus in Cancer, 4th house, Venus in Sagittarius, 9th house. Externally, creation centers on home, family, emotional bonding, and nurturing environments. Internally, value grows through freedom, belief, exploration, and philosophical alignment. Emotional closeness without shared vision feels limiting. Core tension, attachment versus expansion. Maturity lesson, love needs meaning, not just closeness. Example 5, Venus in Gemini, 3rd house, Venus in Scorpio, 8th house. Externally, creation is playful, conversational, curious, and light. Relationships thrive on dialogue and variety. Internally, value demands depth, loyalty, emotional truth, and intensity. Superficial connection becomes intolerable. Core tension, variety versus depth. Maturity lesson, intimacy requires emotional risk. Example 6, Venus in Virgo, 6th house, Venus in Pisces, 12th house. Externally, creation is service-oriented, practical, modest, and functional. Love is expressed through care and effort. Internally, value seeks unconditional compassion, surrender, and spiritual connection. Constant evaluation erodes tenderness. Core tension, service versus surrender. Maturity lesson, love is not earned through usefulness. Example 7. Venus in Libra, 10th house, Venus in Cancer, 4th house. Externally, creation focuses on public image, professional relationships, social grace, and reputation. Internally, value is rooted in emotional safety, privacy, and home. Public admiration feels hollow without inner warmth. Core tension, image versus intimacy. Maturity lesson, belonging matters more than applause. Example 8. Venus in Scorpio, 8th house, Venus in Taurus, 2nd house. Externally, creation is intense, transformative, consuming, and emotionally binding. Relationships feel all or nothing. Internally, value longs for stability, simplicity, peace, and sensory comfort. Core tension, intensity versus peace. Maturity lesson, love does not need crisis to feel real. Example 9, Venus in Sagittarius, 9th house, Venus in Virgo, 6th house. Externally, creation flows through adventure, belief, teaching, and shared ideals. Love grows through exploration. Internally, value matures into practicality, reliability, and daily compatibility. Core tension, ideals versus habits. Maturity lesson, love survives in the everyday. Example 10, Venus in Aquarius, 11th house, Venus in Leo, 5th house. Externally, creation centers on community, friendships, innovation, and shared goals. Internally, value demands personal recognition, creativity, romance, and heartfelt expression. Core tension, collective value versus personal joy. Maturity lesson, contribution must still feel personal. Core principles to take away. 1. Venus creates twice, once outside, once inside. 2. What you attract externally mirrors what you value internally. 3. Repeated relationship or money patterns are Venus seeking alignment. 4. Maturity refines taste, not desire. 5. Lasting creation happens when outer comfort matches inner worth. When external creation, Venus in Natal, and internal creation, Venus in Navamsha align, relationships stabilize, wealth patterns mature, and life stops feeling like it must be constantly redesigned. You stop chasing beauty and start living in it.